Alright, so in this video we are going to be swapping out our over-the-counter microwave, or over-the-range microwave. This is a GE Space Maker from 1990, and it's honestly a little frustrating because the only thing wrong with it is the start button no longer registers when you press it. All of the electronics, all of the internals are still fully functional. Unfortunately, once one of those, I don't even know what it is, it should be a membrane of some kind, but once those wear out, there's not really much of anything you can do with it. I've had the control panel apart to see if there was something that I could try to finagle or repair, and there's not. This has been down for about a year and a half now. I've had saved searches on eBay trying to find somebody parting one out, and there's just nothing. So unfortunately, it's time to let it go. I hate doing that after 35 years with something that simple, but not really much of a choice. Now, to that end, it is kind of complicated to use. It doesn't have a turntable in it, so no, never mind. January 1986, so it's almost 40. Either way, it's still kind of sad to have to get rid of it, but there's not really much we can do with it. So this has a bracket on the wall that it slides into. I made sure when I did my pre-planning, the new one should use the same bracket, which is good because around here it's anybody's guess what that bracket is into, and I really don't want to unscrew it and then find out whatever it was holding it up fell into the wall and now I can't rescrew it. So there's 2 bolts up above on either side that hold it in at the top, and then it just pivots down and then you just pull it out. So the plan, because I don't have anybody to call for a second hand, is to remove the stove, grab my 4-foot step ladder, set that underneath, hold it, unscrew it, let the ladder help catch it, lift it out and down and away. So it shouldn't be too bad. So first, step 1 is going to be pull the stove out. It's electric, so that's not going to be that big of a deal. The second step is marvel in disgust at how much crap is underneath and behind the stove. Step 3 would be to clean behind the stove, and then we can get the ladder in and actually work on getting the microwave down and out. In theory, this shouldn't be too difficult. Theory always breaks down quickly, so we'll see how this actually goes. Once this is done, then I can remove the countertop microwave, which means I can put the air fryer on that counter because there's next to no counter space in here, and there's really no way to expand the kitchen. We could go that way, but the problem is that wall was the original exterior wall of the house, so in order to push the kitchen out into that living room, we'd need to bring in a steel beam to carry the load, because this is still a load-bearing wall, so we wouldn't be able to just punch it out like I would like to. And it's just not really worth the cost for what you get out of it. This is one of those where the way its layout and structure is, you could easily drop $250,000 into it to bring it up to date, and it's just not really worth it. Just do what you can within reason, because it's just not really worth it to do like a total gut and rework, especially since it's very difficult to find any contractor that wants to do anything on an old house, because they just want to come in, do a job in an hour, charge you $2,000 and move on. They don't want to actually do anything custom or have to figure stuff out. So first thing, we'll get the stove out of the way and go from there. This should be interesting. Alright, well that turned out to really not be very bad at all. It surprisingly was not very much stuff under here. So I'm going to try to run a time lapse and we'll just see what kind of footage I can get. Alright, well that's what I was afraid of. The bracket came down with it. And don't really... I think oh, they just barely missed the stud on that. There's nothing there. Nothing there. So, yeah, God knows what was holding that microwave. Apparently just the 3 screws at the top. Wonderful. Alright, well, I'm bleeding, but not seriously. I caught one of the scabs from where the cat scratched me, and that's what is busted open. Okay. Well, let's go unbox the new microwave and start the replacement. Alright, so catching up here, I did not record all the time of me trying to figure out how the template works and how to line the holes up. I have not formally fitted it yet, so we're going to see if I screwed it up and how bad if I did. Because it's not... Some stuff, like with this, trying to read the instructions, like I don't know if I'm getting dyslexic as I get older, but like I look at the instructions and like my brain just sees white paper and I can't comprehend it even when I read it 40 times. But using the template sitting on top of the microwave to poke the holes, which don't line up with the B and E that it says it's supposed to line up with, should be pretty close, hopefully enough that I can just adjust it a little bit to get it in. I have test hung it. I did get 2 legs into studs. This thing weighs half, if not less, than what the other one weighed, so I'm not super worried. I think we should be okay either way. So let's lift this up and see what we get here. All right, moment of truth. Power. We have peelage. So. Inside light works. Alright. We have lightage. Sweet, I have missed that. Awesome. We are recirculating as expected. Good. Awesome. Turn that up. Clock. What time is it anyway? My phone's my clock, so. Yeah, not doing no good. .43, and I started recording at 8:42. There we go. Okay, clock is set. That's in. Clean that up. Move the stove back. Okay. I'd say we're about done. Up a bag of frozen fruit today to test with. So, there. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. Oh, that is so nice. So, with the old one, when we bought the house, Dad didn't like how complicated it was to use. And it was complicated. Like that's easy. The old one, you had to do time cook, power level high, put your time in, and then hit start. So, Dad went down to Walmart and bought a countertop microwave, but he did not notice that there were no numbers on the countertop microwave. It was the cheapest one because Dad only ever bought the cheapest of everything. And the only way you could operate it was to tell it what you were cooking. There was no 0 through 9. You had to just tell it, and then it would spit out however long it ran from that. That microwave lasted 13 months before the magnetron shorted out. So the countertop that I've been using is kind of like the family microwave. It gets passed around to whoever needs one. It came from one of my ex's family, and then we had it at the lake, and then after we sold the lake, it went into storage, and then we needed it here, so it's been using here, and I will put it back into storage, and the next person in the family that needs a microwave, it'll continue to travel on. But I'm really happy to have that counter space for the air fryer, because this is just so ridiculously it works. It's solid. Cool. Okay. So the only thing left to do is push the stove back, sweep one more time, and then cross our fingers there's no crash tonight. It's held pretty tight. It shouldn't, and like there's no movement to it, so I am pretty confident, but at the same time, when I have to pay to replace the stuff, the first couple days are always fingers crossed that I didn't mess something up. Yay, stove came back on. Now, I will address what people will complain about. No, there's not a lot of distance between. This is not a lot deeper than the old one. This one is 16. The old one is 15, so this is only an inch farther down. It does stick out a little bit farther. But this is not a gas range, so I don't have to have 30 inches of clearance. Even if that were an issue, which I'm not intending at all on switching this to gas, I'd just pull the upper and just run it up higher. But this will work for us a lot better than the countertop. So the last thing to do spray the stove down one more time. We're going to call it an evening. Now, I paid $219 for this at Lowe's. Not a super expensive model, the cheapest that they have. But, like I said, I haven't decided if I'm going to sell and move south or if I'm going to hang around, but this needed to be replaced either way just for the functionality of living here. And I don't really want to spend like $400 or $500 on one because in reality all of the new stuff is made to fail, and I could get 5 years out of this one and I could get a year and a half out of one that's $500. So I'm happy. This is a much needed improvement. The light will be nice. That's not terrible. Real time was an hour, start to finish. Cool, I'm happy with that. So hopefully I will be able to edit this into something that doesn't impossible to watch. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And again, before people comment about what an idiot I am, that's how much space we have from our large stock pot. So, like I say, it's not ideal, but I'm also not worried about it because, again, there's zero room in here whatsoever. Peace.